You are listening to the B.I.G show with your hosts, Calvin and Garland. The B.I.G show is a weekly breakdown of the sports world from a fan's perspective. Here are your hosts, Calvin and Garland.
It is the big show. Excuse me.
Oh boy.
My throat is all scratchy because I've been yelling and screaming at and about these goddamn Ravens for the past few days. It's just, it's the big show. We're live on YouTube right now. It's a little early for us. I'm Calvin. That's my guy Garland. If you have Spotify, you'll be able to see our beautiful faces when I drop the podcast, and we'll be on all the podcast platforms. What's going on, Garland? Let's get these pleasantries out the way because it won't be pleasant after this.
Lunch B.I.G time. So yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, man. Well, a lot of things have happened. As a matter of fact, first of all, I want to give a shout out to my daughter, my youngest daughter, Michaela, who got engaged on Sunday evening. Her fiance Trayvon. Congratulations to both of them. They have this thing called candlelight concerts. Have you ever been to one?
I've never been to one, but
I've seen the advertisement. Yeah. And so they had one at the Maryland Museum of Culture and History. And so my oldest daughter and my daughter's friends, they set up something. We rented a room and had everybody there, and she didn't know we were there. And so after the show, they come out. They go into the room and boom, here go your parents, everybody's there. And she's all like, oh my God, what happened? And my man, he got down on the knee, bro, got the little ringy ring. And she said, yes. So yeah, man, that's how fast it happened, Calvin. Just the other day, I was changing the diaper. I was burping, helping some baby gas get out the way. And now at least my youngest will be getting married in the near future. And so I need to start saving now and stuff. The Orioles then got their money for the tickets. I was just looking the other day. I'm like, God, y'all don't take a break for Christmas? Y'all ain't gonna take it at the top of the year?
And they got 2 more payments to go.
Boy, they worse than the IRS or something. Boy, they gonna make sure they get their money. They're going to make sure they get their money. But shout out to them. Trey, he's a listener of the show. He likes the show and all. And so, maybe future father-in-law privilege, I might have him on one day.
That's what's up. What's up, Trey? We when we got the news, we was, talking about giving you the business because, just to let you know that the young lady got some backup and, you ain't want to get none of this. But then we heard that you was a loyal listener that enjoyed the show. Then we was like, all right, well, we clearly make good decisions. So we don't even need to take them to the 5th degree. So,
they was ready to threaten his life. I was like, y'all met him. He was at the baseball game one time.
I forgot about that too. Yeah. So, hey, congratulations to both of them. Young love is superior.
Yes.
And next thing you know, Garland gonna have his own landlord running around.
Right. I'm gonna be talking about. I can't record on Tuesdays, yo. Landlord
and I'm gonna give you as much hell as you've been giving me. Boy, I can't wait.
I can't record.
Wait.
Landlord wants to go to the beach this weekend. Right. Let me get his room together. Get the landlord's space together.
Exactly. We running around now getting this Christmas space together.
That's right.
And stuff.
That's right. He helped that corner together for all them toys.
Yeah, he helped us put up the tree. So he every time he come over, he proud of that. He stood on his little stool and was putting his little ornaments up. So he's proud of that. So
that's his house. That's his house. I just had a cousin who turned 50. And my father, he only had 2 younger brothers and all. So one of my father's youngest brothers, he passed a couple years ago. But I was talking about when he was born. I was like, yeah, man. I said, you just came and pushed me out of our grandmother's house, our grandparents' house. That was my house. I was the one that's being spoiled. I was getting breakfast every weekend. When I say that was my house, Calvin, I would go there for the weekends, and that would be my house. Like the landlord comes to your house. Yeah, man. I'd be watching all the cartoons, all the TV, whatever I wanted, and then this joker showed up.
That's how it is, and for the very near future, that's how it's going to be for this 3-year-old.
I'm talking about Robin's husband. And so Robin was a guest on our show for
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Shout
she's
out to
married.
Robin.
Yeah,
Happy
shout out to
holidays,
her.
Robin.
Yeah, yeah. So her husband, she had a little event for him on I think it was Saturday and went to it and everything. I was just talking about how he kind of pushed me out. I was the landlord and he came in and became the new landlord. So
That's
I
what's
know
up.
that's what's up. That's what's up, man. Let's go ahead and jump into it, man, because we're doing a lunch and
Yeah, why are
Calvin
we
ain't
here
off. I'm off.
today?
He's taking his lunch break. So
Why are
man,
we here today?
oh well.
What prompted us to be here today this early?
Mm, Calvin, season's over. The season's over. The season's over. Drake May guided New England to a pair of fourth quarter touchdowns, rallying his team from an 11-point deficit to a 28-24 victory over the Ravens on Sunday night that clinched a postseason spot for the Patriots and dealt a devastating blow to the Ravens' playoff hopes. May went 12 of 14 for 139 yards in the final quarter against a non existent Ravens pass rush. The Ravens, who lost Lamar to a back injury in the second quarter, turned the ball over on their final drive on a fumble by Zay missed the run backwards Flowers. Baltimore is now 7-8 and is now 2 games behind the AFC North leading Pittsburgh with two to play. And so let's talk a little bit about the offense and defense, and we can go through the game. Now, on offense, Lamar was 7 for 10 for 101 yards before being replaced by Snoop Huntley, who went 9 for 10 for only 65 yards. Neither one of them threw any touchdowns. Derrick Henry, who had a game shifting fumble on the Ravens' second drive, which shifted momentum in the game, rushed for 128 yards on 18 carries and had two touchdowns. After his second touchdown, which gave the Ravens a double digit lead, he did not touch the ball or play the remaining 12 minutes and 50 seconds of the fourth quarter. So let's start there. Ah, we talked about this when we've been talking about this for the last 2 weeks, Calvin. I said what you see is what you get. And this game was a it was what we've been seeing all season. Inconsistent offensive play, decision making that would just make you just why, who, what is going on? The inability to stop quarterbacks who can throw the ball very well. We do all right against the run game, but we can't cover. We can't rush the passer. We can't keep a lead. We can't shut the game down. It used to be we'd be able to close out these games. Like in the Ray Lewis era, when they got a lead, you remember the good old days when the Ravens would kick a field goal to start the game and we say, all right, that's it. They can have three. If they had 6 points by halftime, that was like, okay, game over. They're going to shut that down. Ain't no way this team coming back to win. Not no more. I mean, they this is what they've shown us all year. This is what they've shown us all years. And so, what did you think about the offensive performance? I mean, they start off like gangbusters. They come out, get 7 on an opening drive, and then they they do what they typically do. They struggle. What was your impressions?
Well, let me come more current for you. You talking about the good old days with Ray Lewis and the boys. We kicked 3 points, and that's the game. Let's talk about the good old days of 2023 and 2024, where the team against us is going to score, go up for less than a touchdown because they were only up 5, and you giving us the ball back with 2 minutes left, and Lamar Jackson, we're gonna win that game because those were the days where Lamar Jackson could drive down the field and score, where the offensive play calling and the offensive execution was great. And this is a regular season game. So we're going to dominate in the regular season. So what about those good old days? Man, listen, I don't understand what is going on with the offense. Well, I do understand what's going on with the offense. The offensive play calling is awful. The decisions that the head coach is allowing to be made out there. Because I'm not going to say he's making the decisions, but as the head coach, he's allowing these decisions to stand. And then he's like letting them throw the rocks, and he's turning his head and then coming back like, well, I didn't know. Well, we shouldn't have never had that happen. Sir, you can change it. Anyway, everybody's gone into that, so I'm not going to get into that. When we talk about the offense, let me first come out and apologize to one Tyler Snoop Huntley, because you know how I felt about him for the past couple seasons. He came into the Chicago game this year and played well enough to win this game. He played that game well enough that Garland was killing me when I said earlier this year Tyler Huntley could have gotten in on Thanksgiving, let Lamar get healthier, and beat the Cincinnati Bengals, which I still firmly believe he could have done. He came in this game with the Lamar Jackson out and actually did efficient. Now, we watched the pass that he threw, and he does not have the zip on the pass. It looked like it was going to be intercepted, but he played well enough to give them or to maintain the lead or to maintain the offense for them. He did not fuck up. Mark Andrews at the half, you're throwing the ball. I don't know what that was, what you thought it was. The problem is you're a veteran. You're one of the veteran stars of the team. And although we recovered the ball and it seemed insignificant, the significance of that was there was a 15-yard penalty on roughing the passer. Had you not did that dumbass backwards pass, we would have gotten those 15 yards, still had some seconds with timeouts to get in the field goal range just for Tyler Luke to miss the field goal, but we would have at least given him the chance to miss the field goal. Of course, Tyler Luke missing the field goal, kicking the ball out of bounds. I mean, we can do all of that. But you know what was working? Derrick Henry. Yeah, he fumbled and he changed the momentum of the game, but he atoned for that. He came back, scored another touchdown, and was on fire. And he doesn't even see the field with 12 minutes left in the game when you don't have Lamar Jackson out there and you need your best players on the field. If nothing else, you got to have Henry on the field to see a threat and to run the clock down. You got to play ball management. I have no idea. And then Harbaugh's like, well, we were running the rotation and I didn't notice. But then you got a first down with DeAndre Hopkins.
We're going to talk about Harbaugh. Say your Harbaugh thought.
Okay, I'm a chill.
Say
but
your Harbaugh thought.
It's the offensive play calling. It's the decisions that the veterans are making. Should I even talk about Zay fumbles? Because that's his new name now. He's no longer Zay Flowers. He's Zay fumbles or Zig Zay fumbles, whatever we want to call him. I don't know what he sees.
I like Zay.
I don't know what Zay sees when he turns around and looks at the field. Because what the rest of us see is the end zone that way. Zay sees it this way. He sees it that way. I don't understand what,
Calvin,
just like his name, Z.
Yes.
That's
I got home from the event, I turned on the TV. I've been listening in the car, turned on the TV. I think Patriots had scored. We got the ball back last drive. As soon as he threw it to Zay, and Zay made that cut and went backwards, I said, he's getting ready to get stripped. He's getting ready to get stripped. And sure enough, as soon as he zagged and tried to go back upfield, guy came up and knocked the ball right out. If you saw Rashad Bateman's reaction was like, he does this all the time. It was just like, he just turned around and just, let me just go here off the field. I'm not even going to try to show any emotion. It's like, this is who the Ravens are. They're no longer we can't put them in the elite conversation.
Absolutely
to me
not
anymore. I don't want to hear any talk about they up there with the Bills, they up there with the Broncos, they're up there with the Eagles, they're up there with the Rams, even Seattle. No conversation like that. You have these players, and these players cannot close the game on the offensive side or on the defensive side. Now, to talk about that offense, and I don't agree with Chris Collinsworth a lot, but he said that the Ravens have a problem. They have a Henry problem. They need to figure out what to do about Derrick Henry, because there's no way that he can be carrying your offense and then he does not touch the ball for the remaining 12:50 of the game. And to take it a step further, Tony Dungy said that would be like taking Steph Curry out the game after he hit 6 straight threes. That would be, he said that's akin to like taking Steph out the game after he hit 6 straight threes and you don't put him in any longer. And and we're gonna talk about Harbaugh in a minute, but the decision making, I think just across the board on the offensive side of the ball, on the defensive side of the ball, and at the head coaching has been horrible. It's been horrible. We talk about Mike Tomlin. It's funny. I got a coworker. He's a Pittsburgh fan. He's from Pittsburgh, and he does not like Mike Tomlin. But I said to him, if Mike Tomlin was coaching the Ravens, this Ravens team, we would be ahead in the division right now. Mike
Bruh.
Tomlin has less. Mike Tomlin has done more with less.
Ahead in the division, we
We
would be playing the LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh meme. Not one,
not
not
one,
two,
not two,
not
not
three.
three.
We would have rings,
Yes.
and I firmly believe we would at least gone to
People like,
two
oh,
Super Bowls.
he
I'll
he
be
he just
conservative. Two
wins
Super
and gets
Bowls.
us to the playoffs.
He just wins. He
But
just wins.
if he had this talent, he would have done more. So let's talk a little bit about the defense. Now, the defense, they did sack May 3 times and they held the Patriots rushing attack under 100 yards. But they disappeared down the stretch like they normally do in the fourth quarter by giving up back-to-back drives to surrender the lead. Stephon Diggs, he put on a clinic. He had 9 receptions for 138 yards. Um, they just, Calvin, this was another uneven defensive effort. I mean, Marlon, they just they just find Marlon. They just find Marlon Humphrey. Whoever Marlon Humphrey is covering or wherever Marlon Humphrey is playing, throw the ball that way. As a matter of fact, I saw a stat the other day where we were talking about teams. They just they double the amount of passes they throw in the game against the Ravens. A team might come in, they're not throw heavy, pass heavy, but when they face the Ravens, they become pass heavy because they know that the Ravens have no pass rush and they can't stop receivers. What was your thought about the defensive effort?
Real quick on the offense. On the night where the offensive line did not play horrible, we totally failed Snoop for coming in being the backup quarterback and having a maintaining the game. When it comes to the defense, I'm gonna give Marlon a slight amount of grace.
Yeah, he had an
Number one,
interception.
because he got the interception, but number two, he was playing on the outside, which he doesn't do. That pass that was thrown in that corner was just a perfect bomb by Drake May. I mean, we literally
Yeah,
watched
guy
what I
caught
would
it over his
consider
shoulder.
the evolution of Drake May in that game. That was his first 300-yard passing game, his first comeback in the fourth quarter, and he was so accurate. Even when he was being wrapped up, he was accurate. And Stephon Diggs, not being the superstar that he used to be, came out with a superstar-like performance and played well. I'm going to have to give the Patriots something there because the defense got ripped up, but they didn't get ripped up by Gardner Minshew. You know, they got ripped up by a guy that is on the verge of being one of the great quarterbacks in the league in the upcoming years. Now, with that being stated, um, I was sitting next to a Patriots fan. And when we got the interception, it was because of the pressure and almost sack. That's when Marlon got the interception. And I yelled, "That's what a pass rush does." And he looked over, he was like, "The one thing we know is that the Ravens do not have a pass rush. So we expected for Drake May to be back there all day having time to throw
Mhm.
or having been able to dodge out because he has the scrambling ability." And although that was only the first quarter, by the end of the game, he saw it. He was like, "This is exactly what you know what I mean?" We were bantering because everyone knows that the Ravens do not have a pass rush. I think this pass rush for the Ravens is what is holding the defense back because they're great against the run. Yeah, they bust out a 22-yard touchdown run, but that's because they're an NFL team with a good running back. They were not running the ball on us. They were passing the ball on us because we cannot get a pass rush to get home because we got pressures, but this isn't Aaron Rodgers back there where we didn't get any pressure on. This is a young Drake May that can scramble and run around and still be accurate on the throw. We need a pass rush. Marlon can't play the outside. We know that, and they toasted his ass like they should have. And that was the injury to Awuzie.
It was, yeah.
We had to move
Hmm.
Marlon on the outside. So that was just a bad call anyway. I guess they decided who was going to get better. But then another thing is, I thought we had solved this problem a few games ago, but the middle was open. Drake May was completing a lot of passes in the middle, a lot of passes in the middle. I don't know enough about offense and defense to know if it was the scheme they were running, which is taking receivers and linebackers out of the middle. I don't know enough about that, but it just seemed like the middle in that second half stayed open. And when it wasn't in the middle, that's when Drake was going to the outside and just hitting perfect passes on him. So I'm not as upset with the defense because I still believe had the offense been able to run Henry and continue to control the ball on another defense that wasn't stopping the run, we would have won that game. That's a winnable game. And that's the thing that gets me. These games, some of these games we're losing are winnable games. I'm not even talking about because of the comeback. I'm talking about because of the position that we're in when we don't have the lead. These are winnable games. It's just the decisions that being made that are killing us.
Tavius Robinson went over. He had no tackles,
Was he
no
there?
sacks.
Was he there?
Travis Jones, who just got a 3-year extension, went over. No tackles, only one quarterback hit. Kyle Van Noy went over. He had one pressure or pass defended, no quarterback hits. Mike Green had one tackle. And so basically, you didn't. These are guys that are your main players: Green, Van Noy, Jones, and Robinson. And they basically was like they were not there. Roquan had 10 tackles. Alohi Gilman had 8, and
Probably
Marlon,
Alohi probably should have had 12, but he
right.
don't know how to tackle.
They don't know how to tackle. And so the only sack, well, you had Draymond Jones, he had one sack, and Darius Washington on the blitz probably had the other sack, and Devontae Walker. I'm trying to think, why would he have a sack? Maybe it was
The it was the fourth down fake. He's on
fake
the
punt.
punt
Yeah, the
team.
fake
He's on
punt.
the
Right.
special teams. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
that fake
And
punt. He
so,
got the sack
yeah.
on.
And so, yeah. So basically, a special teamer, a safety, and a new guy on your team had the sacks. And so, to me, it's something about the scheme, Calvin, as it comes to the fourth quarter, because they play well leading up into the fourth quarter. They only gave up 3 points in the third quarter of this game. They held them scoreless in the first, gave up 10 in the second, but they basically held them to 3 points in the third, and then they
Exactly.
came up and
Yes.
they gave up 15 points. And that seems to be happening a lot. I think as the game goes along, you get in these crucial situations. I don't know if it's scheme, they're not a great tackling team or whatever. They're not able to get to the passer. Teams can throw and get back into the game on the Ravens, and this has just happened. I think this is the most home losses they this. I think
It
this
is
exceeds the record.
three and
Yeah,
six.
because I talked about it last week. That I think it was 2015. They had the most was 5, and so now they have 6. Only 3 home wins this season. That's horrible. That's
Horrible.
horrible, horrible. And so, man, that goes into our really what we want to talk about today. It's time for a change. Now, I know that Jay and the others in our group and other people too, they get on, hey, man, Harbaugh's a Hall of Famer. Who they going to get besides Harbaugh? But when asked by the media why Derrick Henry didn't play the final 12 minutes and 50 seconds of the game versus the Patriots, John Harbaugh had no clear answer why. Harbaugh admitted it didn't look like a great decision. And he said, ideally, this is John Harbaugh speaking.
Mhm.
Ideally, you would want Henry in under those circumstances. So this is the direct quote, Calvin. You look back on it, I think it's pretty easy to say he should have been in there, or he shouldn't have been in there. But we're rotating these guys throughout the game as two backs. But yeah, game winning drive. Do I want Derrick Henry on the field? Sure, I do want him on the field.
I just, I don't,
Yeah, I think you get to a point
this guy.
of where I don't know how many more seasons he needs. I don't know how many more times he needs the opportunity. I think this is his best era, at least offensively, of players. I don't think he's ever had, he had Flacco. Flacco was serviceable. He had
He's never had this.
it was defensively. They were great defensively. And up until the Lamar era. And then in the Lamar era, they've been good defensively, but they've been their best offensively. This is probably the best offensive teams we've seen ever in the
Yeah.
history of the Ravens. And it just has not panned out. In the Harbaugh era, the Ravens have blown 17 double-digit second half leads, the most by any NFL coach. About one out of every five losses under Harbaugh has been a collapse, and most have happened after halftime. In the Lamar era, over a third of all of those losses since 2019 have been collapses, meaning they had a double digit lead or more. The majority see this two score lead vanish in the final quarter. The Ravens' record since 2019 is 71 and 38. He has a 65% winning percentage, and that's great. But let's say if you reverse 10 of those 13 collapses into wins, which is crazy asking that they had a two-score lead, that record becomes 81 and 28. And so to me, he's fair to middling. You're going to win some games with John Harbaugh, but the games that you should win, the games that you should close out, you don't win. And so, what are your thoughts about the change? I think it's time for a change. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so if you recall when they hired John way back to replace Brian Billick, one of the knocks on being taking the chance on him was that he's a special teams coach. He's never been a defensive or offensive coordinator, and the question was, will that hurt the Ravens? Well, when he got to the team, he had a Hall of Fame defense, or their Hall of Fame players on the defense, and he pretty much rode that. We had some lean years with the Flacco, but the defense was still good and Flacco was serviceable. But now
Mhm.
you get into the Lamar era where Lamar is a Hall of Famer and you don't have that defense to lean on, even though the defense has gotten strong over the past couple seasons. When you start having those years where Lamar got hurt, you notice that we weren't really able to close out. We did make the playoffs one year with Tyler Huntley and lost to the Bengals.
Mhm.
I think, and let me say that we've gotten everything that I believe we've gotten everything that we can get out of John Harbaugh. I don't think it was a bad hire. I think it was an excellent hire, but it's just time for him to move on. And when people start asking, well, who you going to get? Well, after this press conference that he had yesterday, not what he was saying Sunday, I listened to yesterday. We're going to get someone who has the balls to say something. John Harbaugh literally said in his press conference yesterday, yeah, when you see the guys out there, you're not going to call timeout and stop the play just to make the change. Why not? Why aren't you? You're in the fourth quarter. You got three timeouts. This is a must-win game. Why aren't you going to say it? Well, after the first try, you're not going to do it on second down. Why aren't you? Then you got a first down, and in that first series, you got a first down from a DeAndre Hopkins catch. So why not throw Derrick Henry back in then? Because now you got another chance to start with fresh downs, but you don't. You keep Keaton Mitchell in there. And simple math tells you in the fourth quarter of a game that you have to win. Keaton Mitchell rushed 9 times for 13 yards. Derrick Henry had over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. They weren't stopping Derrick Henry. It
No.
doesn't take a rocket scientist to say, hey, you need to put him in the game. I don't care if it's second down, third down, even goddamn fourth down. Him not being in the game is at this point in his career and in our season, without a Lamar Jackson to save you on the field, is a fireable offense. I truly
Coaching
believe
malpractice.
the only reason that, and I don't know anything about Scotty or
Mhm.
DaCosta, who I'm going to get into next. The I believe the only reason that he still and Munkin are still there right now is because there's a very slim chance that the Ravens can still make the playoffs. We're on life support, but if I don't, I think if we were officially eliminated, they would have eliminated him.
Wow.
Um, it's
I
just
agree. I agree.
it's absolutely
I agree.
ridiculous. And for everyone that defends Harbaugh, Harbaugh, you know, kudos
Call him
to you. I
Harbaugh.
honor you. I don't. Your loyalty speaks volumes,
Mhm.
but it is time for the guy to
Let
go.
me let me say this, Calvin, because I agree with you. I think you've sometimes you've gone as far as you can go with the person. I agree. It was a good hire. It has paid dividends. This has been
Mhm.
a model franchise of consistency, and that message. Him leading that team. Yes, it's done well for the organization. They're always in the mix. Um, there are not too many frustrating seasons like this all the time, but I think after a while, when you can't produce the results, when you have the players, it becomes time that you have to move on. I mean, I think about Harbaugh. I mean, what's the difference between Nick Sirianni and Harbaugh? you know, uh, Nick Sirianni, he works for which we would call a strong GM. That's where Howie Roseman is for the Eagles. We have a strong GM with DaCosta here in Baltimore. That means they're making the player decisions. They're making who's on the coaching staff decisions. What's the difference? Um, he's coaching almost in a sense like he's a rookie, like he's really coaching for his
Absolutely.
job. But he just signed
Yes.
a 3-year extension in March that runs through 2028. I mean, this guy has had more lives than a cat down to his last life, but it has not translated to me, at least, on the field consistently. You're eating, yes, you've been successful at some points during the regular season, but you're really eating into the life of the players. I mean, you're several years into the Lamar era, and the best that you have to show for it is only one AFC championship appearance and a whole bunch of divisional playoff losses and wild card losses. Go ahead. So, what are your thoughts about DaCosta?
So I think, and not everyone, but I think a lot of us give Eric DaCosta a pass because we believe that everything is on John Harbaugh and the coordinators. One of the things that DaCosta has not done, how long did it take him to get Lamar help in the wide receiver realm? And I mean
Wow.
legitimate help. Zay
Wow.
Flowers, because
7
you got a old washed up Odell Beckham, you got an older DeAndre Hopkins. You're getting him guys that are basically retreads. And
And Devontae Walker is not a
yeah,
number one.
so you
Rashard
Zay.
Bateman is not a number one.
Exactly. Zay Flowers is the only thing we've gotten. And that gives it what he had 2 Pro Bowl selections now. You saw he was just
Right.
selected to the Pro Bowl, 2,000-yard seasons. The only drafted receiver that we've ever had like that. So it's taken him long enough to get Lamar some help on the offensive front. And God bless him. Derrick Henry is a class act because he's not throwing anyone under the bus and he's maintaining his health. But this is 2 seasons of a guy that should be washed up by all other running back standards. So how
Mm,
long did it take you to get somebody to help Lamar in the backfield? You know what I mean? And I know you tried to get him the year prior to when we got him, but he was still old at that point. Now, when we talk about that, let's go on the defensive side. How long have we been screaming for a premier pass rusher? Some kind of way, and we know DeCosta loves these picks and key. Sir,
Mm.
you've got to go all out and trade these picks. If it takes trading a second round, a third round, a first round pick, you've got to do it because that is a huge deficiency that this team has right now. We
Calvin,
cannot get to the passer. I
the
just
fact
it
that they was not in on the Micah Parsons deal, to me,
even if you didn't get
even if you
it,
didn't get it, the fact that they were not one of the main teams that was in the fight for Parsons, to me, said it all in terms of what their outlook was for the season, especially defensively. That the fact that you thought you can go into the season rocking with Odafe Owe, and he has not turned into Lawrence Taylor. He's just chasing quarterbacks around out and at the
yeah.
Chargers. I mean, he's
And
he's he's been serviceable just like he was serviceable here.
I still think that trade was even at least, but I think we
Yeah.
kind of won that trade with the Alohi
Yeah.
Gilman. I think we won, but even if you want to call it that, I don't think they've won that trade. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and so you that should have been that was the biggest glaring need for this team, and you guys were not even in the discussions for Parsons, and the window's closing. Calvin, we've talked about this. The window does not stay open long.
I,
It does not stay. You got about a year or two of a win. You can look at the Eagles right now and see that the window's closing. These guys
I
won the Super Bowl last year, and that window is about to shut if they don't get there.
the Chiefs window is closing. Goddamn, Bills window is closing. We're
Right.
literally sitting here talking about Drake
We're
May
watching
coming
about
up,
the
Bo
transition of
Nix,
these younger teams
Bo Nix
coming
coming
in.
up. Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, and I hate to say this, but we may have wasted the best years of Lamar Jackson. Not only is he injured, but what is bothering me is the injuries are starting to pile up.
Sure.
It's one thing to get injured and get healthy, because remember, there were 2 years that we barely saw him because he was injured, but he was still able to come back and play at an
Mhm.
MVP level. But now these injuries are piling up every week. It's something different. It's something different. They're starting to pile up. And I hate to think that we'll never see what we saw before, but I hope we haven't completely lost the best years of Lamar Jackson. But I mean, it's absolutely nonsensical to not I'm going to even give you this. It's nonsensical not to even gone after Matt Judon when he got released. I mean, anything that could get you a
Anything.
slight pass rush. We could have had Matt Judon last week, but you let him go to Detroit. I don't know if he did anything in that game, but shit, he may not have done anything in Baltimore, but at least show some effort. It's a glaring need that we had, and you're going into a game that you have to win. And we can talk about all the past games and how we've given up leads. The bottom line for me is the very last game you absolutely had to win, and you did nothing to prepare for that win. You did nothing to say, hey, let's make sure we get this win. Everything you did was just, oh well, let's go try this week and see what happens. It just feels like every week it's, well, let's just trot these guys out with the same thing that we've always been doing, and see what happens and see what happens. Then when you get something positive, you're just like, I don't know if we should keep going to that. We haven't really done that all year. We've had a running back rotation, so I'm not quite sure. What the hell? it's,
Calvin, they was
it's so
running that man.
frustrating.
Remember, we were screaming for Keaton Mitchell earlier in the season. I was Keaton
be,
Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell. Where's Keaton Mitchell?
be, care-
Okay,
be
now y'all
careful what you
discovered
wish
Keaton
for.
Mitchell. Be careful what you wish for, because now y'all don't want to take him off the field.
Look, that's what Jason kept saying to me. I thought y'all wanted Keaton Mitchell. Like, it's what it. Remember, I said if I'm Derrick Henry, I'm going into the Green Bay game like, nah, get it to Keaton. Since y'all love that nigga so much, get a
Mhm.
ball to Keaton. Don't even look my way.
Right. Like, and it's like you said, okay, now we need Barry Bonds. Am I going to take Mark Belanger, a guy that's only hit 2 home runs, over Barry Bonds hitting it a cleanup spot?
we we
No.
got we we got we got I don't even know their names. We got Stanton. We got Stanton on the
Yeah,
Yankees coming up to
Giancarlo
bat.
Stanton.
They intentionally walk Stanton to get to Aaron Judge, and we decide, no, let's pinch hit Aaron Judge to try to get real slick on him.
Right.
Let's get slick and pinch hit Aaron Judge and put
Right.
somebody else out there. They
Right.
won't be expecting that one.
Right.
That's literally how we're playing
Let's
the game
fool
right now.
him.
They don't have no stats on this guy. They won't be
Right.
expecting that. Because he
Take
hit a
Judge out.
home run. He hit a home run against them three months
Right.
ago. We know he can do it.
Judge just hit 3 straight home runs. Now we're gonna pinch hit him in the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah, they take Aaron Judge out. They're gonna be ready for him.
That's how they making these decisions,
That
man.
is literally how it feels. It's just ridiculous.
Man, let me put a bow on this. Overall, Harbaugh is 192 and 123, about a 61% win percentage. He's 13 and 12 in the playoffs, one Super Bowl. We know of that. During the Lamar era, he is 78 and 38. With only one AFC championship appearance, 3 divisional playoff losses, and 2 wild card playoff losses. And he has signed a extension earlier this year in March that runs through 2028. And so we will see. I think really what happens these last 2 games are going to maybe indicate his future. I think if they go out and they just get stomped these final 2 games, then I think they might want to go ahead and eat that contract and bring in somebody else. But if they're competitive and they're able to win, even if they split, I think it saves his job. If he wins both of those games, he's definitely there next year.
I hate to say it, but I would rather them if you're telling me that my choice is have them split and save his job or have them lose both games and he is removed as head coach, I'm going to take the 2 losses. I'm sorry. We can't go through another year of this.
They're going to go.
We absolutely can't.
They have not shown a propensity to move this man out of this position. I mean, even after the Ray Lewis, Ed Reed years, those years were super thin, and they did not move him out of that position. They've been winning with him, and they still can't go anywhere, and they have not moved him out of that position.
What's worse is DK Metcalf just got suspended 2 games. The Browns could literally beat the Steelers this week. And we could find ourselves in a position to win this Packers game and win, and then have to win the game in Pittsburgh.
I had already said I didn't think they could win the last 4. They did win the Bengals game.
They should have won. They should have won.
Yeah, they should have won the pick. They're not going to win these last 2 games. I mean, do you think Lamar's going to play these last 2 games? I really don't think his history of injury. I don't think he's going to play.
When is I forgot to look at the schedule. I know our game is Saturday night. When is the
and the other game is the Cleveland Pittsburgh game is during the day. That's like a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, so on Sunday.
On Sunday.
So we have no choice. I mean, if Lamar is even part of the way healthy, they really have no choice but to play him because it is a must-win game.
What did Lamar Jackson say earlier this year about when he's ready to play, he lets them know he's ready to play?
That's true.
Now, they were expecting him back after the bye, and he basically was like, nah, I want 1 more game of rest. They said he was ready, but he said he wasn't ready. Yeah. Lamar, with these injuries, he's not a person that recovers quickly. And to me, Calvin, if we hear by Friday he's not going to play by on Saturday, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if he does not play these final 2 games.
Well, if we don't win Saturday, I don't expect him to play.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they lose Saturday, well, I'm not expecting him to play Saturday. He's not going to play Saturday.
I don't know, man.
That's too quick of a turnaround.
I think this DK Metcalf not playing these last 2 games really has more of an impact than we're actually giving it. Like I said, the Browns gave the Bills hell on last week. They only won by 3, and they could have won that game. I'm telling you.
I'll be open. I'm gonna be optimistic like you, and I'm gonna say this though. Even with him playing, I don't think they win, and that takes us right into pigskin pick'em. And so, let's go ahead and talk about a little bit about this. And
I hate this. Let me tell you why I hate it. I hate it because you only gain one game on me, but that's only because I picked the Patriots instead of the Ravens. Otherwise, you would have gained 2 games on me.
It's
I'm
just not
so
his year,
mad.
y'all. It's not his year, y'all.
I'm sitting here like Harbaugh with my pick.
Yes. And so I did get 2 picks. I got the Bears game right, and I got the Panthers game right. Bears, that was a good comeback.
First, it was not a good comeback. Romeo Dum Dum Dobbs with his damn fucking kazoo helmet on. Catch the fucking. I would have won that pick if he
He
catches
could have
the
let it go out of
onside.
bounds. He should have just go ahead and smacked it out of bounds.
Anything. Dum dum.
Hey, dum dum. Looking like kazoo.
Looking like kazoo out there, that big ass helmet.
Oh God, how inappropriate cartoons were that you can get away with calling someone dum dum.
All cartoon long.
Right.
And that was his name.
That was
He
his
never
name.
called him Fred. Never called him Fred.
Hello,
Hey,
dum dum.
dum.
Yeah, the Panthers, they had a big win over the Bucks. I think the Bucks are done.
But that's another game I should have won. I should have won. The fuck?
Oh God. And so right now, I'm several up on Calvin, 33-25. And so
Yeah, just say several. Don't even
yeah,
don't
I
even
go,
give a
I
don't even embarrass me like
I
that.
go get the statistics. All right, so we do have a Thursday night. We got a couple Christmas games, as a matter of fact. And so the Cowboys, they head to DC to face the Moes. The Moes, they over. They're just playing for fun right now. Who you got?
They're both playing for fun, but I'm going to take Dallas in this one. Hopefully, they don't jump anybody on Dallas team like they jumped
Right, they was fighting.
they was beating.
They was kung fu fighting.
DC, that's what y'all banking people now. Y'all here banking people.
They say we losing. Let's just go ahead and start fighting.
It was at it.
So
I'm gonna take the Cowboys.
Fighting. I'm gonna take the Cowboys as well. The Lions. The Lions.
I think they're officially eliminated.
Yeah,
they're on life support. Like
they're on life support too. But yeah, they need a lot of stuff to happen at the top for them to get there. They head to Minnesota to face the Vikings. Vikings coming off a good win.
Yeah, man. I want to say that they lost to the Steelers. We keep calling the Steelers a bad team, but every week they've been showing that they are not a bad team. I'm going to take Detroit beating Minnesota.
Okay. I am going to take the Vikings. But I should wait to hear if JJ McCarthy's going to play, but I think their defense is playing well enough. And as I looked at that game on Sunday with the Lions, they get pass happy. They forget that they got Sonic and Knuckles in the backfield, and they refuse to run the ball after a while. And it doesn't work out for them. And that defense is not all that great.
Defense is not good.
Yeah. Broncos play the carcass of the Chiefs, whatever's left of the Chiefs. They lost to the Titans on Sunday.
Yeah, they lost bad to the Titans. I'm going to go ahead and take the Broncos. They're fighting for the number 1 seed.
Yes, I'll take the Broncos as well. And so let me paste that. All right, so first 3 picks, we're both taking the Cowboys. I'm taking the Vikings. You're taking the Lions, and we're both taking the Broncos. All right, so I just wanted to make sure. All right, Saturday, 2 Saturday games. Texans, they head out to LA to face the Chargers. Who you got?
Yeah, that should be a really, really good game. That's the early game? That's the
that's the 4. It's a 4 o'clock game because the Ravens game is at 8 o'clock.
I heard a stat that early games, whether it's East Coast or West Coast, but when the East Coast team plays a West Coast team, they're generally the ones to win. I do think the Houston's defense is legit. I'm going to take Houston going out to LA to win. I'm going to take the Texans.
All right, I like that. I'm going to take the Chargers at home. I think home cooking always works on this one. Ravens, they head up to the frozen tundra to face the Packers. Packers need to win to stay in. Tough loss for them last week. Ravens, they're down to like a 8% chance. They need a lot of luck. They need the Browns to lose on Sunday, and
to win.
I'm sorry, they need the Browns to win on Sunday. I apologize. And the Ravens need to win the last 2 games, which I think is impossible. So
we don't we don't know if Jordan Love is going to play. He was in
Right, he's
concussion
in
protocol.
concussion, but
But
Malik
even with
Willis
Malik
is
Willis, he
yeah,
looked he
playing
looked
well.
good. He looked good against the Bears. I'm taking the Packers.
I'm with you. I'm taking the Packers as well. I have no faith in the Ravens. Steelers, Browns, big game. But I'm gonna
Big
take the
game.
Steelers on this. I don't care what Shador does. And I don't care if they don't have DK for both games. They have enough to win both
Yeah,
games.
I'm only taking only taking the Browns because I have a lot to come back from, and I do think the Browns have a better chance than most people will give them. But I'm gonna take the Browns.
All right.
Not that I truly believe they're going to win, but I need the points.
Right. He needs some upset, y'all. He ain't gonna get one on this one. Patriots, they're up. They're down in New York to take on the Jets.
Yeah, man. We might look at a 400-yard game from Drake May this time. I'm gonna go ahead and
Right.
take the Patriots.
I'm taking the Patriots as well. The Saints have been playing very well. They smashed the Jets last week. They head to Tennessee to take on the Titans.
Yeah, I think the Patriot. I think the Saints keep it going. Give me New Orleans.
All right. I'm taking the Saints as well. I agree with you. I think they've kind of figured it out a little bit. The Jaguars, who look very good against the Broncos, good game up there in Denver, big win. It's sad not to see Travis Hunter be a part of this.
Right.
Yeah, so hopefully they continue this into the next season. They head out to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Rivers look good. He looks about you and my size out there trying to throw outs to wide receivers. I mean, he got a better arm than Snoop Huntley, and this guy hasn't played
He
in several years.
does. He does. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Jags. I think the Jags are legit this year.
All right, I'm taking the Jags as well. The Bucks, they head down to South Beach to take on the Dolphins.
I'm with you. I think the Bucks are disappointing, but I don't think they're going to lose to the Dolphins. I'm gonna take the Bucks.
I agree with
Dolphins
you.
are poor.
Yeah, but Dolphins are bad, so I'm taking the Bucks as well. Seahawks, they head down to North Carolina for some chop barbecue, and they're taking on the Panthers.
Yeah, big win by the Seahawks.
Mhm.
Carolina is it. This is a big game. This is a sneaky big game. I'm going to take the Seahawks though.
I'm gonna take the Seahawks as well. Cardinals, they head up to Cincinnati. Hopefully, they clean off the seats. If it snows, they'll face the Bengals.
I think the Bengals are playing for a lot of pride. I'm gonna go ahead and take Cincinnati.
All right, I'm taking Cincinnati as well. Yeah, the Cardinals are done. Giants, they head to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Of course, I'm sure you're
Yeah,
taking the Giants.
yeah, of course. Raiders are horrible.
Yeah, they're horrible. I'm taking the Giants as well. Eagles, Bills. This is going to be a good game. Eagles head up
Very
to
good game.
upstate New York to Western New York to take on the Bills. Who you got?
Yeah, Browns almost beat the Bills, but that was on the road. I
Mhm.
don't think the Eagles play as well on the road as they do at home, and same with the Bills. So I'm taking the Bills at home.
All right, taking the Bills at home. I'm taking the Bills at home as well. I think the Bills they can handle that up there. Bears, they head out to Santa Clara to take on the Niners.
Bears are legit. I'm taking the Bears on the road.
That's going to be a good game. Bears look very well. I'm going to take the Niners at home. And the Monday night game, nobody really is going to be watching this. Who cares? The Rams, they head down to Atlanta to take on the Falcons.
Yes, that's all Rams right there.
All right, fantastic. I'm taking the Rams as well. So let me run through our choices. We both take Cowboys over Commanders. We split on Lions Vikings. Calvin's taking the Lions. I'm taking the Vikings. We're both taking Broncos over Chiefs. We split on Texans Chargers. Calvin's taking Texans. I'm taking Chargers. We both take Packers over Ravens. We split on Browns Steelers. Calvin's taking the Browns. I'm taking the Steelers. We're both taking Patriots over Jets, Saints over Titans, Jags over Colts, Bucks over Dolphins, excuse me, Seahawks over Panthers, Bengals over Cardinals, Giants over Raiders, Bills over Eagles. We split on Bears Niners. I'm taking the Niners, Calvin's taking the Bears, and we both take the Rams over the Falcons. All right. All right, we'll see what happens if he can come back. All right, man, we're at the point of the show that everybody loves. Come on, yo. And so, Calvin, I defer to you for your come on, yo.
Yeah, let me go back to the Eric DaCosta thing. I kind of alluded on it, but come on, Eric. It's time. we love that you like to hoard these picks and get the depth in the team, but you can only have depth when you have stars at the starting position. And right now, which should be grade A players, they're not even B minus players, especially on that line. You're gonna have to start giving up some of these high picks. You're gonna have to get you a receiver. You're gonna need some offensive linemen. You're gonna need a pass rusher. Come on, Eric. I think your job should be on the line as well. I'd be willing to give you one more season, but we've got to make some moves. If that's even going to put us in cap hell, you cannot let Lamar Jackson waste his good years and get nothing out of it. Lamar Jackson promised a Super Bowl to this city. You cannot make him a liar. The only person that can seem to help him are other players. And how does he get that? It's from you, Eric. Come on, yo. Come on, Eric DeCosta. We need some studs on both lines, and we need to get Lamar some help. Bring Baltimore back to what we think it should be. Come on, yo.
I agree with that. Come on, yo. That's where I was going in as well. I mean, I know sometimes we get stuck with success. I mean, this is a coach that has won 60% of his games. But after a while, that success is not consistent. It's not in the space that you want it to be. You are playing these games to win championships. Yes, it's great to get to the playoffs, but the ultimate goal is championships. And when you hold that standard up to the record of John Harbaugh, it just hasn't happened. And I'm not going to say he's lost the team because I don't think he's lost the team. The team plays hard. The team is competitive. There might be a handful of games they were blown out this year, maybe two at most. But this team has been in every game that it's played this season, and they prevailed, but a lot of times they haven't. And I think after a while, the message gets stale. And so I think it's time to move on to do something fresh, something new, and a new challenge to ride out these remaining years of Lamar. And then my second come on, yo, is just let people off for the final 2 weeks of the year. Come on, let's just stop this. You gotta use leave. I'm off, and I'm fortunate enough to have leave. I'm lucky enough, or I'm blessed enough to have a job where I generate leave and all those things, and I can take that time. But I think everybody needs a break towards the end of the year, and we got people out here working hard into the new year and stuff like that, and ain't nobody doing no work right now. People stopped working last week. Pretty much last Friday after the Christmas party, wherever y'all Christmas party was, people stopped working after that. I don't want to see no Teams. I don't want to see no Google Meet. I ain't checking no email, all of those things. And so ain't nobody working. Ain't nobody working. So look, let's just start giving people off the final 2 weeks of the year. When I first started working in nonprofit, this was something the organization did when I worked there. They gave us the final 2 weeks of the year off paid, because they knew we wasn't doing any work. Wasn't nobody doing nothing. There was nobody to talk to. There was no meetings to be had. Okay? If you're coming in the office, you faking. You reading stuff. You eat your cookies. You drinking your eggnog. Okay? So come on, yo. Give us off the last 2 weeks of the year.
I completely agree. And special blessings to those essential workers. We have always, during COVID, we talked about the first responders and the police officers. Let's also talk about the retail workers that are going to have to be there, the fast food workers, any type of server, any type of cook. Let's not also forget these liquor store owners, because if you remember when COVID said we're going to drop some restrictions, they opened those liquor stores. They made sure they stayed open. So these people need to be out there too. So shout out to workers, to the special workers. Let me hit this outro so we can get out here. Thank you for joining us. This might drop today because it's so early. We are live on YouTube right now. You'll see us on all the podcast platforms. If you have Spotify, you'll get to see our beautiful mugs. Let me hit this outro. And you know what, Garland? Do you know why Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs
you have been listening
to lose the rest of the games and not care? Because they've won.
And written
they've won in the past. And we don't have that type of luxury. Right. Come on, Eric.
Follow us on all
get us some help.
Podcast.
Get us some help. Man.
Let somebody else do it this year.
Exactly. They don't even care. We deserve a break. That's basically what they said. All right, man. Later.
Peace, bro.